All right, everybody, welcome in. This is a standing yoga for strength class, so we won't be getting on the floor at all today, and I won't be doing anything seated. If you're interested in those things, I've got some other classes for the folks interested in being on the floor or in a chair. This class is designed with the goals in mind of strength, endurance, and trying to work on weight management through burning fuel, burning calories throughout the body. So intentionality is one of the fundamentals of this class. You kind of have to squeeze the muscles to get the most out of it. That being said, if you're squeezing 1 out of 10 for yourself today, because that's the best you've got today, that's okay, right? You don't have to be super duper intense to get anything out of this class. That being said as well, you can squeeze harder. Maybe you're a 10 out of 10 today and you're really pulling the floor apart with the strength of your legs. It doesn't look like I'm doing anything right now, but I'm pulling sideways one way with one foot and the other way with the other foot. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of squeezing and intentionality, like I said. Well, let's get warmed up here just for a second. Roll the wrists. Bend and extend the elbows. Roll the shoulders, both directions, and turn the head. You can see I do have a chair here. It's available just in case you need to hold onto it instead of going all the way down when we reach for the floor later. We don't get on the floor, but we do reach for it later. And then also it can be used as a prop to hold on to for certain glute squeezing, glute extensions. If you have a wall space, that could also be useful. You don't need any weights or anything like that for this class. Let's get going. Nice wide feet here. Sink down at the knees and hips and rotate the spine. Okay, this is still part of our warm-up. Now, if you're doing this class just to kind of get moving and waking up for the day, right? Think about that intentionality marker, and maybe you're a 2 or a 3 out of 10 on intensity with your squeezing. That's fine, right? Make this class suit your needs, okay? If you're trying to burn as many calories, as much fuel as possible, then maybe you're squeezing 8 or 9 or 10 out of 10 for different moves. That being said, fighting through fatigue is a good thing. Pushing through pain is not a good thing, so we don't want to push through pain, okay? You can also bring palms together here if you prefer. If you get sharp pains, back off a little bit. Pause at the side, take a nice deep breath, expand the lungs and the ribs. Exhale and unwind, head to the other side. Nice deep breath, expand the lungs and the ribs. And unwind. All right, feet come closer together. And let's do circles with the hips. We're warming up all the joints. All right, so it is a yoga class. It's a yoga-inspired class, I should say. We use some traditional yoga moves, but with the emphasis being on some of these goals that we mentioned, strength, endurance, weight management, we do modify the moves, circle around the other way, switching directions. We do modify some of the moves to suit the goals a little bit more, okay? And also to suit our own bodies, right? Don't push yourself into something that's going to bother your body today or tomorrow. Marching the knees, just a low march here, bringing the knees up to wake up the hip flexors, maybe tightening the core a little bit. All right, and I'll settle down with my arms and legs. I'm going to have a nice wide base of support. Unlock the knees just a little bit so that there's cushioning in the knees and so that there's blood flow through the legs, right? You don't want to lock the knees out for this. Unlock the knees, and then also so that you're using the quadriceps, so that you're using the muscles for your stance rather than just connective tissue and just kind of suspending there. Unlock the legs. Doesn't have to be low. Here we are. Our first set of moves is a 5-move, here's a preview, 5-move arm series, okay? And I'll talk about it as we go. Starting in low mountain, palms are forward, shoulder blades are back, thumbs are out to the sides. The intensity here is coming from the back muscles, so you want to pull the shoulder blades back and squeeze these muscles in the back here, the rhomboids, the middle traps, everything involved in retracting those shoulder blades. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze if you can. A little bounce in the knees. And that is low mountain, okay? And again, it's slightly modified. Maybe a traditional low mountain would be taller, right? Lengthening the spine. Palms come together. This is left meets right, left palm meets right palm. Sometimes in Western yoga we call it prayer palms, but you can call it whatever you like. Palms come together and we press those palms together, squeezing the chest muscles. And then we'll go between those two postures, adding a small squat here. So we'll go from low mountain in a stance, low mountain being the base of the mountain is low and wide, right? Into prayer chair. So palms come together, sink down at the knees and hips, try to keep the shoulder blades back, and squat down. Then we come to a stand. Let me go to the side really quick. As we squat down, keep the shoulder blades back, sinking at the knees and hips. Now, you don't have to go this low, right? You definitely don't have to go that low. That's one of the things that you can kind of grade on your own. Sink down to your preferred depth. Maybe that's it for you today. And then come back up. Okay, I'm going to aim for about 15. I've already done 3. Here's 4. Take as many breaks as you need to. Here's 5. Go your own pace. Set your own goals. Here's 6. As I squat, I'm pressing my chest muscles, or I'm squeezing my chest muscles to press my palms together. As I stand, I pull my shoulder blades back. Here's 7. Make sure we're breathing. And stand. Here's 8. And stand. Here's 9. And stand. Here's 10. And stand. 5 more. And stand. Here's 12. And stand. Remember, the depth is entirely up to you. 13. And stand. 14. Great job, everybody. And stand. And 15. And stand. Shake it out. Brief break here. Brief for me. You can take as many as you need, though. All right. First 2 arm postures are low mountain, and then we'll call it prayer palms today. Move number 3 is bamboo, okay? Traditional bamboo might look a little bit different. Okay, if you Google bamboo, you might see that the arms are back by the ears. Don't force your shoulder into a posture that your body doesn't like. Coming on up and forward and pausing kind of at your happy capacity, right? So come up to what you find is still within your comfort zone. For me, my arms come forward just slightly. Straight up doesn't work great. I don't want to hyperextend my spine like this just to get them straight up. And I don't want to jut my chin forward just to get my ears between my biceps. All right? Well, that's enough on safety for now. Keep the spine nice and vertical, and let's move on. So, low mountain. Prayer palms. And then we'll stand into bamboo. Let's go between bamboo and prayer chair. I'll go about 10 times this time. So bamboo, nice and tall. Palms come together. Prayer chair. Sinking at the knees and hips. Standing into bamboo. Sinking down into prayer chair. You decide the depth. Bamboo, nice and tall. Sink down into prayer chair. Shoulder blades back. Bamboo and prayer chair. I lost count. I'll call that 4. 4 out of 10. And up. Squeeze the glutes at the top as well. And 5. Sink down. Great work. 6. And sink. 7. And sink. 8. You can see I'm pushing my bottom back, hinging at the hips. That's fine. And I think this is our last one. 10. All right, arms come down. Shake them out, shake them out, shake them out. Next up, we pair bamboo with our next move, which will be cactus. And I'll show you a variation that we've been doing called, or we're calling it Cactus 2.0, which is not traditional yoga. Cactus is, but Cactus 2.0, where we squeeze the fists down, that's kind of our thing. So here we are, starting in low mountain. Unlock the knees, make sure they're moving. Palms come together. Come on up into bamboo. And then cactus looks like this. Elbows come to the sides. Forearms are nice and vertical. There's roughly a 90-degree angle. And the cactus to me looks like one of the Southwest saguaro cactuses or a Taco Time cactus, if you know the restaurant. Anyway, shoulder blades pull back and down, squeezing the muscles that pull the shoulder blades down. We don't want to shrug the shoulders up toward the ears for this. We want to pull them down. So here we are. Unlock the knees. Nice wide feet. You might have to even widen your feet out more for this particular move. And 2.0, what we've been kind of making up is for the same muscles, but it's like a bodybuilder flex, like you're flexing the biceps and pulling the shoulder blades down a little bit more, right? You won't see that in a yogi textbook, but pull the elbows down if you want to try that. Sink at the knees and hips, and then we'll stand into our bamboo arms. Squeezing the glutes at the top. Sinking down. I'll do 10 of these. Here's 2. And bamboo arms. I'm calling it bamboo arms because bamboo would have narrower feet as well. There's 3. And 4, and I like the wide base of support for myself. Maybe you like narrower feet, that's fine. I think that's 5. And 6, I'm gonna watch this video later and see that I'm like counting backwards or something, who knows. And 7, the numbers don't matter, right? Intensity matters. The outcomes matter. Having a little bit of fun matters. I think this is 9, so I'm going to do one more. Last one. And up. All right, arms can come down. Shake it out. Or if you don't want to take any breaks, you can stay with low mountain for your quote-unquote resting posture, right? Take a breather, take a breather. All right, that's 4 arm-based postures. Our next move here is T-shaped arms. Show you how do we get there. Low mountain, unlock the knees. Palms come together. Right? Bamboo arms to your preferred height. Cactus. Elbows out to the sides, pulling the shoulder blades back and downward. And then T-shaped arms look like this. Arms nice and long, fingers nice and long, palms are down. Arms are in line. They're parallel with the ground. You don't want your hands any higher than your shoulders, because that could just cause some pinching in the shoulders there we want to avoid. Here is good. Lower is fine, right? That wouldn't be traditional, but that's a good modification to make. If you know your body well, right? And you know your body better than I do, bring them down if you've got pinching in the shoulders, right? Here's the goal, I would say, but come down if you need to. So here's our 2 moves here. Cactus, where we squat down, and T-shaped arms, where we stand, okay? Shake out the arms for a second if they're getting tired, and we'll get into that. So cactus, squat down, pull the fist down if you'd like, standing into T-shaped arms. Nice wide feet, sink down into cactus, T-shaped arms for 2. I'm going for 10. Here's number 3. I know I did 15 on that first set, but that'd be too many to do for all these. Coming on up for 4. Down and up for 5. Down and up for 6. The arms are getting tired now. Down and up for 7. Down. You can go much slower than this if you like. 8. Down. 9. Last one. Down. 10. And the arms can come down at the sides. Let them swing. Roll the shoulders a little bit. Good work. Okay. Those are our 5 moves. We're going to finish that whole cycle one more time. Not doing all the squatting, but we'll go through the 5 moves. then we're going to connect number 5 to number 1, which is low mountain to T-shaped arms. Okay, low mountain, and I'll show you that in a second. Here we go. Low mountain, unlock the knees. Let me do this at a diagonal for a better view, I think. Palms come together, prayer palms. Arms come up into bamboo, bamboo arms. Cactus, elbows pull back and down. If you want to make the Cactus 2.0 bodybuilder flex, that's fine with me. And then the next ones, number 5, out to the sides, which is T-shaped arms, and down into low mountain. Okay, so here we are. As we squat down, I'm going to have wide feet here. As we squat down, I'm going to bring my arms out to T-shaped arms. As I stand tall, I'm going to come up into low mountain. Squeeze the glutes at the top if you'd like. So sink down, T-shaped arms. Here's number 2. Stand tall into low mountain. To me, it's like my hands are staying the same height off the ground the whole time. Sink down into T-shaped arms. Tall into low mountain. Down into T-shaped arms. Stand tall into low mountain. All right, I'm going to do 5 more. Here's 1. And up. And here's 2. And up. If you got to take a break, take a break. Listen to your body. Here's 3. And up. 2 more. Here's 4. And up. Great work, everybody. And 5. Number 5. Come on up. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Get a drink of water if you need to while I describe the next series of moves. Okay, the next series is very glute-based, very leg-based, glute specifically. Move number 1 is a lateral leg raise. So it looks like this. Right leg out and down. Left leg out and down. I like to hold on to a wall for this, like this. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the glutes for a couple of reasons. You don't want to tip left and right. And if you hold onto the wall, you can keep the spine more vertical and get more out of the glutes by being more stabilized, right? The other reason is then it's not a fall risk for you because you're holding onto the wall. It's safer. But other than safety, it's also just more effective. Now, you don't have to hold onto a wall. This is one of the reasons we have a chair in here. So you can hold onto the chair, right leg out and down. Left leg out and down, okay? From another angle here. Nice tight core. I've got my knees bent a little bit. Right leg out and down. I'm going to do a pyramid style scheme for the numbers, right? Which means for the repetitions, I'm going to do 1 on the right, 1 on the left. 2 on the right, so it's getting bigger. 2 on the left. 3 on the right, 3 on the left, and it's going to go all the way up to 5, and then it'll work its way back down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reps, all the way down to 1 rep again. If that doesn't make sense, just bear with me. Let's give it a shot. I'll hold on to a chair this round so that, no, so you can see my face. Not that that's important, but I might hold on to a wall for a future move. I do prefer the wall, I think. The chairs are tippy. Here we go. Unlock the knees, shoulders back, nice tight core. Right leg out, slow and steady. That's 1. Left leg out for 1. Slow and steady is good here. We don't want momentum. 2 on the right. Here's 1 and 2. I'm going to really challenge my counting abilities here, aren't I? 2 on the left. There's 1 and 2. 3 on the right. Here's 1, slow motion, and 2. By the way, I don't care which side you're on. Number 3 on the right, and then 3 on the left. If you're doing the opposite, that's fine. Doesn't matter to me. 1, 2, and 3. All right, 4 on the right. Here we go. 1, 2. Don't want momentum. 3 and 4. 4 on the left. Nice vertical spine. There's 1, 2. I got to keep both hands on the chair because I'm tipping it. 3 and 4. 5 on the right, and this is as high as we're going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The glutes are really working. 5 on the left. Here's 1, 2. Take a break if you need to. Don't overdo yourself. 3, 4, you can always join in a minute, and 5. Back down to 4 on the right. Here's 1, 2, 3. You can always work up to this as well, and 4. 4 on the left. 1, 2. By the way, if you ever think this class is too easy, 3 and 4. Maybe you got to squeeze harder for 1. 3 on the right. 1, 2, and 3. 3 on the left. Or you can try out the strength and stretch classes where we use a little bit more equipment and do other circuit style training. 2 on the right. 1 and 2, and you might find that more intense. 2 on the left. 1, 2. 1 more on each side. 1 on the right and 1 on the left. And my glutes are needing a break. You might march the knees. Here's how I like to stretch this. If you're standing, you just kind of want like a brief active recovery stretch. It's not a full-on glute stretch, but it can kind of shake it up a little bit. Knee comes up and across, up and across. Notice I am holding on to something for some stability. Up and across, up and across. Up and across, up and across. Looks like I'm doing the can-can. Just to shake out the glutes there. All right, second move. This is for the core a little bit before we get back to the glutes again. Squeezing the core and the hip flexors. Very similar premise. We're still gonna do the pyramid style where it's 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, all the way up to 5 and back down to 1. But this one, we bring the right knee up, squeeze, then we bring the left knee up, squeeze, okay? You're welcome to hold on to a chair if you'd like this. You're welcome to hold on to a wall if you'd like that. If you heard me breathing there, the exhale is very loud and very intentional. I'm trying to exhale as much as I can, and that helps to intensify that abdominal contraction. So if you want to exhale as you bring the knee up, you might get a little bit more out of this. You can do this facing wall. You can do this freestanding as well, but I personally like the stability, right? If you want to work on balance at the same time, that's totally up to you, but I don't like to. I just want to squeeze, burn the calories, strengthen the muscles, build my engine for burning more calories in the future. Again, balance, totally up to you if you want to add that element in. Here we are, holding on to, I'm going to hold on to this chair, I guess. I might hold on to a wall sometime today. Here we are. Squeezing the knee up and exhaling. 1. Switch sides, and 1. Now we're on 2 on the right. Squeeze and exhale. 2 on the right. 2 on the left. Here's 1 and 2. 3 on the right. 1, 2, and 3. Good work, good work. 1, 2, and 3 on the left. 4 on the right. Squeeze, exhale, squeeze, exhale. 4 on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 on the right. 1 and 2, 3, 4. You guys are awesome. 5. 5 on the left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back down to 4 on the right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 on the left. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 on the right. Here's 1, 2, 3. 3 on the left. Hopefully you guys are making sense of the pyramid that I'm talking about here. 3 on the left. Okay. 2 on the right. 1 and 2. 2 on the left. 1 and 2. 1 on the right. Here's 1. 1 on the left. 1. All right. Shake out the legs. Maybe rotate the spine a little bit. There we are. Okay, back to the glutes. It's a different angle though. We're not going side to side. This time we kick back. Let me show you a few different options here. You can hold on to the seat of a chair, right? Have a nice flat back and squeeze the glutes as the right leg comes back. Notice my left knee, if you're doing this option, is bent, right? I've got a cushion there. I don't want it locked out. I want it bent, right? Better for the blood flow, better for the knee joint. Squeeze the glutes as you come back, okay? That's one option. You can hold on to the back of a chair. Same thing. You can hold on to a wall. Now, if you're holding onto a wall, your back's not going to be as parallel with the ground, so the leg shouldn't be as parallel with the ground, right? You don't want to fling your leg way up high. You want to get it in line with your spine, fighting against gravity like this. Squeeze the glutes and down. Squeeze the glutes and down, okay? I'm going to go with that one. For this round, I'll use the wall, and feel free to use the chair. You could also get on the ground if you feel like it. I said it's not a floor class, but you are welcome to get down there if you prefer hands and knees on the ground. Okay, one on the right, one on the left, two on the right, two on the left, working our way up to 5 and back down to 1. Unlock the knees, and here we go, friends. Squeeze the glutes, right leg back and down. Squeeze the glutes, left leg back and down. 2 on the right. Here's 1. Very intentional with the squeeze. 2. 2 on the left. 1, 2. 3 on the right. 1, 2, 3. 3 on the left. 1, 2, 3. 4 on the right. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 on the left, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 on the right. All right, 1, 2. Hopefully you guys are having fun. You stick with the things. 3, 4 that you enjoy, right? Last one, 5. 5 on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 on the right. On our way back down. 1, 2, tap the toe. 3, tap the toe. 4. 4 on the left. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Back down to 3. 1, 2, 3 on the right, 3 on the left. Try to keep your eyes ahead of you, right, in line with your sternum, so you're not looking over at a screen or looking at a mirror or anything like that. 2 on the right, 1, 2. 2 on the left, 1, 2. You want to keep your eyes down on the wall. 1 on the right, 1 on the left. Okay. So if I didn't mention it early enough, yeah, if you're at a chair, right, you want to keep your eyes forward. You don't want to look left and right. You don't want to do that looking at me, looking at a mirror, looking at dogs running by or whatever else is in the room, right? Just not as safe on the neck. I've injured my neck before doing exercises, turning the head. It's a risk. Don't take the risk. It's not worth it. All right, get some water, shake out the arms, shake out the legs, and we'll get to our third portion of our class today. So we did an arms portion, right? We did a legs and I guess a little bit of core, right, left, marching, and then left, right, back with the legs. And then this one's a little bit of a warrior series. We'll get into kind of a flow with it, but at first we'll just show the moves. We'll build on the moves, right? So we're gonna make this sequence 1 move, then 2 move, all the way up to maybe 5 or 6 moves. I haven't counted, but I know the circuit that we'll do. And then we'll repeat that a few times, then we'll get to our closing. So we're almost done, actually. It'll take a few minutes to get there, though. Here we are. I like to have a chair in front of me because about 4 or 5 moves in, 5, 6, I don't know how many moves in, we'll use it for some stability, okay? Maybe earlier if you need it. If you don't need the chair, that's okay. Here I am facing the short edge of a mat. Toes are facing the short edge of a mat. Unlock the knees, and I start in low mountain, pulling the shoulder blades back. Unlock the knees, a little bit of bounce in the knees, right? Right foot steps back, and my toes are still facing forward. Now, here's some intentionality notes. Squeeze the glutes with your back foot heading backward, and the front foot pushes forward. We're drawing the floor apart with our feet, okay? The front knee should be stacked above the front ankle, not beyond the toe like this, right? Shouldn't have a slanted front shin. should be stacked above the front ankle. Now, if you're finding that you're doing that, you might need to step further back if your knee is too far forward. You want a nice vertical shin in the front there. Okay, but it's not a stretch at the same time. So we're not really trying to stretch the hip flexors like in some practices, okay? This is for squeeze the muscles, right? So just step back to your, like I could be stepped back this far, hardly at all, and still pull in opposite directions, squeezing the muscles. So here we are, low mountain, right foot steps back, draw the back foot back, push the front foot forward, and then we'll bring our palms together. Prayer palms again. Pressing the palms together using the chest muscles, and then step forward into low mountain. Left foot steps back. Okay, palms come together. I'm not worried about that back heel touching the ground, right? It's not a stretch, so I'm not worried about that. The traditional purpose might be for other reasons, but we're drawing the feet apart. And then step forward into low mountain. Okay, we'll add a step here. Right foot steps back, palms come together, hinge forward at the hips. Now I'm trying to get my heel, hips, shoulders, and ears in a fairly straight line. I'm not trying to lean down and really hurt the back and round the back here. Should be in a fairly straight line from the heels, hips, shoulders, and ears. Nice tight core, right? And if you need to hold on to a chair, then that's fine, right? That's absolutely fine for some low back stability. If it's bothering your low back, then don't strain things. Okay, then step forward into low mountain. Left foot steps back, drawing the feet apart. Intentional, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads in the front there, pushing the front foot forward. Palms come together. And again, hinge forward at the hips. Fairly straight line from the heels, hips, shoulders, and ears. Drawing the feet apart still. If you need to hold onto a chair, that's always fine. And step forward into low mountain. We'll do that one more time, and then we'll add to it. Right foot steps back, palms together, hinge forward, touch if you need to, and then step forward into low mountain. Left foot steps back, palms together, almost lost my balance there. Hinge forward at the hips, and then step forward into low mountain. Okay, let's add to it. We're going to bring our arms up for our next addition into bamboo arms, but also you'll see the full body looks like warrior one. Okay, here we go. Low mountain. Right foot steps back. Draw the feet apart. Shoulder blades pull back and down, squeezing the back muscles, squeezing the leg muscles. Palms come together. Hinge forward. Hold the chair if you need to. And then let's bring the arms forward as we scoop forward and up into what I'm going to call a modified warrior one. Okay, so warrior one in a textbook might have the biceps back by the ears. Again, I'm not going to force that because I don't want to jut my chin forward to get it there. I don't want to hyperextend my spine to get the arms straight up. And what's comfortable for my body is bringing the arms forward. So that's my modification for myself there. Do what works for your body. Squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the muscles, but don't strain the muscles. Step forward into low mountain. Might need to wiggle the hips here a little bit or tuck the tail, decompress the low back. We'll do a decompression recovery move at the end of class. Left foot steps back, drawing the feet apart, palms come together, hinge forward. Hold the chair if you need to. Scoop forward and up into that warrior one posture. Arms are the same arms as you have in bamboo. The legs are in warrior one. Step forward into low mountain. One more time for both of those sides, left and right, and then so here's right foot back, and then we'll add to it. Palms together, hinge forward, scoop forward and up, warrior one. Step forward into low mountain. Left foot back, and then we'll add to it after this. Palms together, hinging forward. So I'm sorry I'm not looking over at you guys as much. I'm looking ahead because it's safer for my neck. Coming on up into warrior one. Step forward into low mountain. All right, we'll add to it here. Right foot steps back, palms together. Hinge forward, Scoop forward and up into warrior one. Then we'll add T-shaped arms here. So arms come out to the sides. I got to scoot forward or scoot closer to you because the wall was in my way. So here we are, T-shaped arms. Here's what it looks like head on. Shoulder blades are back and down. Arms are nice and long, roughly parallel with the ground or lower. You don't want them high, okay? So from warrior one out to the sides like that. Here we are. Hopefully you've got space in your room for this. Drop the arms, step forward into low mountain. Left foot steps back, palms together, hinge forward until the heel, hips, shoulders, and ears are in line. Hold the chair if you need to. Scoop up into warrior one. T-shaped arms. Step forward into low mountain. One more time on each side, then we'll add to it. We're almost done with our sequence here. Right foot back, palms together. Hinge forward at the hips. Squeezing the leg in the front, right? Squeezing the core for good support. Come on up into warrior one. T-shaped arms, and we'll add to it after the next side. Step forward into low mountain. Left foot back, palms together. Hinge forward, great work. Scoop up into warrior one. T-shaped arms, pulling the shoulder blades back and down so they're not shrugged up by the ears, right? Step forward into low mountain, all right. Recover here, march the knees if you need to for the low back, right? Kind of decompress it. And we'll add warrior two, and then this tipping forward triangle situation. I'm going to call it a modification of that triangle, but we will want to be very intentional with squeezing the core and moving slowly on purpose for this next couple of moves. For safety and effectiveness. Low mountain. Right foot back. Palms together. Hinge forward. Scoop forward and up into warrior one. T-shaped arms. Now, slow and steady here. This right toe, feet are both forward toward the short edge of my mat, right? This right toe is going to turn out a little bit, opening up the toe and the hips toward the long edge of the mat. The arms are still out to the side. So I came from here, picking up my back toe to make it no more than 90 degrees, right? A right angle. We don't want the toes opened up in opposite directions. That's not great on the medial knee there. We don't want to twist the knees with any kind of force or leverage. Just a slight, let me get into it again, just a slight opening them up of the hip. It might just be 45 degrees, it might be 90. Hopefully that makes sense. T-shaped arms. So now what we're in is a version of warrior two. All right, that's our last posture before, it's our second to last posture of our sequence. Drop the arms, step forward into low mountain. Let's get through that again. Left foot steps back, palms together, hinge forward, scoop forward and up, warrior one. T-shaped arms, the back toe turns out as the hips open up. Still in T-shaped arms, now we're in warrior two. And then we'll drop the hands. Now when you step forward, it could be one fell swoop, right? But if that feels unsafe for your knees and hips and stuff, hop forward a couple times, right? Take a few steps, that's okay. One more on each side before we add our final move to this sequence. Low mountain, right foot back. Get your stability, palms together, hinge forward. Scoop forward and up into warrior one. T-shaped arms. Right foot turns out and so do the hips into warrior two. Now I don't look forward at that front hand, which is traditional, because my balance gets poor. So anyway, maybe it's something I should work on. Drop the hands, step forward into low mountain. Again, one step is fine, multiple steps is also fine. Left foot steps back, palms together, hinge forward, scoop forward and up. T-shaped arms. Turn the back toe out toward the long edge of the mat. Warrior two. Drop the arms, step forward into low mountain. All right, we're gonna add our final step to this sequence here. For this, I do recommend having a chair in front of you, and I'll give you the spoiler, right? It won't be a surprise when we get there. We're gonna go from warrior two, Scratch our noses. Warrior two, and then we'll keep a nice, very tight core, like you don't want anything to move except for at the hips here. We hinge down, and you could rest your hands on the chair, right? That's point A if you wanna give it a name. That's where you can kind of stop first. The other spot you can stop is all the way down to the ground with either a fist or a flat palm. I'm not worried about traditionality here. This is just safety, okay? So I like to go to a fist. It's not quite as far down as my flat palm. And here I am with my right arm up in the air. I don't look up at it because, again, that messes with my vestibular system. I get dizzy and I get off balance if I look up. So I try not to do that. I keep my eyes in line with my sternum, which is forward toward you guys right now. And then we come up slow, 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 and steady. Okay, we'll get there, but let me do the sequence to get into posture. What you do want to do is keep three things in mind. I just came up with three off the top of my head, but here we are. Three things. Nice tight core, very important. You want to land with your hand on something, so you don't want to do this freestanding like this with my hand just floating in the air. You want to hold onto a chair or the floor so that your low back isn't strained. And then the third thing is you want to come out of it super duper controlled and slow with the power of that front leg so that you're not flinging up because that can hurt your back. You want to come up super slow and steady. Okay, so the three things, right? I did think about it. I didn't get lucky, but anyway, here we go. Low mountain, facing a chair if you've got one. Unlock the knees. Let me slightly turn toward you guys. Okay, right foot steps back. Nice tight core. Draw the feet apart. Squeeze the shoulder blades back and down. Palms together. Hinge forward. And this is the last portion that we're adding to our sequence, right? Scoop forward and up into warrior one. We'll do it a few times. And we'll get to our cool down. T-shaped arms. Turn the back toe out. Warrior two. Nice tight core here. Squeeze the abdominals as we hinge forward, either reaching toward the chair or all the way down to the floor. Holding there for a few seconds, and then come up slow and steady with the power of that front leg. Drop the arm, step forward into low mountain. Nice, nice, nice. Feel the squeeze on that front leg. Left foot steps back. Palms together. Hinge forward at the hips. You can always hold on to the chair there if you need to. Scoop forward and up into warrior one. Now, if there's ever a move that you don't like, right, your body does not agree with it, it does not agree with your body, skip it, right? Just pause for a minute or just move on to the next thing. Turning the back toe out, warrior two. Nice super tight core here as we hinge down toward the chair or the floor. You decide what works for you. Holding. And then when we come up, we use the power of this front leg, slow and steady. Double on the slow. Drop the hands, step forward into low mountain. All right, I'm gonna move through these moves a little bit faster now, not because we're in a hurry, because we wanna get a little bit of flow going with it. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs, and then we'll get to our closing here. Let me change the angle. And low mountain. Right foot back, drawing the feet apart. Palms together. Hinge forward. Scoop forward and up. Split the arms. Turn the back toe out. I'm going to slow down because this one's really important. Nice tight core. Hinge down toward the chair or the floor. Got lucky on the rhyme. Slow and steady coming up. Back into flow. Drop the hands. Step forward into low mountain. Left foot steps back. Palms together. Hinge forward. Scoop forward and up into warrior one. Arms out to the sides. Almost messed that up. It's a memory game too. Turn the back toe out into warrior two. Hinge forward into onto the chair or the floor. Holding, 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 and slow and steady on the way up. All right, one last third round, bonus round. Same moves. Oop, losing my balance. Same moves. I'm going to flow through it, and we'll get to our closing. Promise is the last one here. Good work today. Unlock the knees. Shoulder blades squeeze back. Be very intentional. Right foot back. Palms together. Hinge forward. Scoop up into warrior one. T-shaped arms. Turn the back toe out. Slow it down. Hinge forward toward either the chair, right, or the floor. And come on up. Drop the arms. Step forward into low mountain. Final round, final side. Left foot back. Palms together. Hinge forward. Scoop forward and up into warrior one. T-shaped arms. Back toe turns out. Nice tight core as we hinge forward toward the chair or the floor. Try to have a nice vertical shin there. And slow and steady up. Let's get to our recovery. Step forward, shake out the arms, shake out the legs, take a breather. Okay, my favorite recovery here is a modified move, right? I can try to show you the full version in a second, but I'm going to show you the modification first. It's what I prefer. I think the full traditional version feels unrealistic to me, right? And I teach stretching classes. I'm not what I would say a seasoned yogi in the like flexibility world. So maybe it's that I just don't have that joint mobility to touch the ground on this move. But let me show you the sequence here. It's like 4 moves. It's pretty short actually though. It's a swan dive first. I'm facing a chair. Remember, modification first. Nice wide feet. Unlock the knees. Same thing, cushioning the knees. Palms come together. Split at the top. Sink at the knees and hips. Now here's where you want to stick to the books, right? You want to stick to the script. Nice vertical spine, okay? It shouldn't be hinging forward at all until you can touch the chair or the floor, whatever you're reaching for. The original version, you'll reach for the floor. I'll show you why that's too much for me in a second. Then once you can touch the surface you're reaching for, push the bottom up. You'll get a little bit of a hamstring stretch in here. And you can pause at any point in this circuit, this little series, that you want to get more attention in the hamstrings if you want. Okay, the next part, very important, tuck the chin and the tail. Now you want to roll up slow and steady with each vertebrae. Okay, so what we don't want to do is have a very straight spine with this actually. I know, for all the other things you want to try to keep a straight spine. For this one, we're rolling up one vertebrae at a time, right? It's like a snake, okay? Coming up, tucking the tail, tucking the chin, so that each one comes up one at a time. It rolls up. That relieves a little bit of the pressure on each vertebrae as it comes up versus bending down and springing out of it. There's some risk there that we don't want to take, right? That's dangerous on it to bend and spring. Instead, palms together. So this is our swan dive. Split at the hands, sink with a nice vertical spine, hands on the chair. And you can do several of these. Push the bottom up for a hamstring stretch. Stick around there if you want. Tuck the tail and the chin, rolling up with each vertebrae. Okay, and you can go through all that slower if you want to. Stick with the chair. I think it's better, but just to show you what I'm talking about here, I'll use the floor maybe one or two times, and I'm going to show you where I fail. I'm going to point it out anyway. Here I am, nice wide feet. I'm going to reach for the floor here and see if you can see when I'm bending forward. I'm going to try not to, but I have to have very wide feet. Sometimes I can be successful, but often I'm too tight. Nice wide feet, splitting at the top, nice vertical spine, and I've got to try to reach the floor. So now my hands are just dangling here with a vertical spine. That's great, but in order to reach the floor, I've got to cheat and hinge forward. That's what we're trying to avoid with this move, is that rounding of the back until you're supported, right? I can get my fingertips on the ground now. Then you can come up with your bottom. Okay, and I'm getting a hamstring stretch here, which is great. The knees don't have to be straight. They don't have to lock out. In fact, I prefer that they don't, because it's not a joint mobility exercise. It's a soft tissue elasticity exercise. Get into that and do a stretch class if you're interested in that stuff. But tuck the tail, tuck the chin, and roll up slow and steady with each vertebrae. Okay, So I'm only gonna do it that one time. I didn't do it perfectly, and I'd rather do it safely at a chair. I get just as much out of this. You've probably done it like 10 times by now, I'm sure, while I've been describing this. Palms together, split at the top, sink down, tuck the tail, and roll up. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. Just to reiterate, if this feels like a good class for you, you're welcome to do it, either to A, wake up in the morning and just get moving, B, really squeeze the muscles, work on some strength, endurance, and calorie burn, fat loss, weight loss, all that kind of stuff. If you're feeling like this type of class isn't enough for you, I teach strength and stretch classes, which is, I don't know, 80%, 90% circuit training, interval training, where you're raising the heart rate a little bit more than you do in this class, and then you stretch at the end. Or the most intense class I teach is a strength class. So it'll just be called Strength 1 or Strength 2, things like that. And in that class, it's 100% circuit training. We do a warm up at the beginning, but it's 100% circuit training where you do 2, 3, or 4 exercises and repeat those exercises for another round. And that's probably the highest intensity class out there. That being said, you don't ever have to do those. It's all gonna depend on your needs and your activity level and capacities, right? This one's nice because you need very minimal equipment. A chair's good, wall's good, don't even necessarily need those. You just need your body and to squeeze it, right? It's an intentionality class. All right, anyway, thank you all so much for your time. I'll see you next time. Oh, and have a great week. Bye-bye.